she has a master's degree in yapology. Like,
What's up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. She is the UFC's undisputed women's bantamweight champion, defending her crown against Julianna Pena at UFC 307 on Saturday. She's a smarter person than I am because she has her cup of coffee right there waiting for her. Raquel Pennington, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for doing this today. Are you looking forward to not talking about Julianna come like Sunday morning?
Yeah, I'm curious though if that's even gonna stop because we all know that Julianna like is just that kind of person that she has a master's degree in yapology. Like,
Well, it's been 13
she's
years,
gonna lose
right?
the fight and then she's gonna keep running her mouth. So I think the conversations might still continue, but as far as my focus on it, like Saturday will be said and done.
Well, it's been like what, 13 years? Why stop now, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right. Let's just keep going.
I am curious, before we get to the fight, I always like these sort of stories. I read that your parents were not particularly keen on you taking your first amateur fight. What was like the conversation or the incident that finally kind of swayed them?
So I actually broke my back, and I didn't take any of my athletic scholarships to college. I took an academic scholarship to UCCS here in Colorado Springs. I was just kind of going through rehab and kind of getting back in shape after everything. And one night at the gym, my mom was there. We were working out. The first team I started with, they were just training in like the little yoga studio in the back. They would pull out those little 1/4-inch puzzle mats and put them together. And it just looked intense. Like they're doing judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and like looks like they're ripping each other's heads off. I personally wasn't familiar with MMA. So I just started talking to my mom about it. And I think she just thought it'd be something good to get me going again. But I don't think she thought it would go past that. I grew up being a huge tomboy. I have one other female cousin, but she wasn't too close to the family, so we didn't really grow up together. So I've always just been like the only female with all the guys. They called me Raquel McDaniel growing up in the neighborhood because I'd play tackle football out with all of them. My friend at the time growing up, her dad was a boxer and her brothers were boxers. So I think it was around like, I want to say 11 or 12, I went to my first set of boxing matches and I came home. And mind you, I have a cousin who are 5 months apart. He's older. They call us Chip and Dale, but like we were terrors together and we always fought. And so at that time, like I came home and I told my parents, I was like, hey, can I box? And they're like, no, you're too pretty and your teeth are way too nice. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I always
The
fought
teeth
my
held
cousin.
up all these years.
Yeah, so I always fought my cousin. I never like got into fights growing up or anything. And then I just came home. I started training and I came home 4 months later and was like, Mom, here, this is happening. And she's like, yeah, no, it's not. And I was like, I'm an adult now. You know, we all turn 18 and we think we're just adults. And I was like, I'm an adult. You can't tell me what to do. And I'm going to go fight. So either you're coming to Wyoming or you're not.
I like this chaotic side because as you were sort of talking about yourself, I'm like, damn, athletic scholarships, academic scholarships, you're like the child my dad wishes he had. But then we get to 18, I'm like with every teenager, shit kind of hits the fan a little bit.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I get my mind set on something. I'm that kind of person. Like once my mind is set, like it's game over. We're going for it. And I also love challenges and fighting is something that constantly throws challenges. So when I first got on the mats, like my first training session ever was sparring and I immediately fell in love. Did I think then I was dreamed of being a pro athlete growing up? But then when I first stepped on the mats, did I think from then to what my life would look like now? Absolutely not. But it's kind of cool how life works.
Let's talk a little bit about the fight game. You got this title defense, obviously. Just very quickly, what would you say is the biggest threat you present to Julianna and vice versa? Where do you have to kind of keep your eyes peeled the most?
For one, first and foremost, I think Julianna, like from what I heard, she made a statement on my last fight and was like, hey, she didn't let her hands go, this, that, or another. Like, absolutely right. I've talked to some other athletes and stuff, and I've had a habit of, going into fights and like I've lost to decision, but I lost those fights before even stepping into the octagon. And like people don't understand like the mental game that comes with this. And so when they're like, hey, how much is this sport? Like mental versus physical. Obviously, it's an extremely physical sport, but I always say it's 90% mental, 10% physical. And so, like, there's been fights that, like, I'm just like, I probably should have stepped away from. And it was just like, I didn't. Like, my pride has gotten the best of me in some areas, and I already beat myself. And then the other part that my coaches have a really hard time with, and my basketball coach, it was really cool because this past weekend, I ended up at my old high school, and I bumped into my old coach. And I give her a lot of credit, but she was tough on me, like tough. And I was just like, I don't understand. I don't understand why this chick is like ripping my head off. She's always yelling at me. I'm always in trouble. I can't do anything right. And then finally, my senior year, she's just like, you have so much potential and you hold yourself back. And it's funny because now that I'm in fighting, like the same thing, my coaches are like, we don't think you truly understand like how talented you are. And so in fights, like I've always kind of just like, held myself back, or like the first thing I come out of is like, there's always more in the tank. I didn't do X, Y, and Z. Like I'm a totally different athlete in the gym as opposed into the octagon. And there's some fights that I've gone out there and like, I've had great performances, but like I haven't unleashed that person yet. So, I think that's one thing for me is like, there's so much more. And like, I didn't just get to becoming a world champion because it was handed to me. Like I've never gotten anything handed to me. I've worked from the ground up. And so, a lot of people categorize me as a brawler, but like, really, I really definitely consider myself a well-rounded mixed martial artist. And I think that makes it dangerous.
Can I ask, how do we unleash it?
What's that?
How do we unleash the Raquel that your coaches know is there?
You know what? I'm excited because this is the first camp I'd probably say in the last 5 that I've actually been able to like go out there and have fun. I don't have all these nagging injuries that a lot of people don't even get to see the behind the scenes and stuff. And so like I've just genuinely like been having fun. This is a fight I've been waiting for 11 years. I feel like the animosity between Julianna and I is just going to kind of bring out something different as well. And then my ultimate goal in this camp was just to genuinely sorry, the baby is like,
that's okay. We love the babies.
Real life. But my ultimate goal was just to slow down and literally just start opening my toolbox and just having fun with it. Like it wasn't about going in there and winning all the rounds. It wasn't like all these little things or just being overwhelmed. Like I was like, hey, I have this huge toolbox, but like, what are some things? And it was like, my main focus was, okay, how am I going to beat me? And then the next, like I watched some of Julianna, and then it's like, okay, what can I control here? What tools and this, that, or another. So like, I just simplified everything. I remember when I fought Miesha Tate, it was like, defend the takedown and punch her in the face. Like that's as simple as it was. And I went out there and just had a blast. And so like, I just really simplified this one again. And it was amazing with my skill set, what started to come out in this camp.
So for the uninformed, you and Julianna were both on The Ultimate Fighter. You were roommates. Not ultimately in the long run, not really each other's cups of teas. I did see you mention, I think it was at the Hall of Fame red carpet, about how you have envisioned every possible scenario of this fight. Hey, how's your improv skills?
This isn't.
Because I want to ask, you mentioned you've pictured a bar fight scenario with Julianna. Have you actually pictured this? And if so, can you give me the spark notes? Is anyone throwing a bottle? Is there a pool stick involved? Like, how does the bar fight go?
No, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Like, no, it's nothing crazy like that. But like, I've pictured so many different things. Like, it's been a fight I've thought about for 11 years. So when people are like, oh, we're going to fight camp, like, this wasn't just your 8-week fight camp. Like, I've been waiting for this fight for 11 years. I don't know how it hasn't happened. It's just kind of one of those things that, like, for me, it's not about the world title and stuff. Like, this has taken us back to 11 years on The Ultimate Fighter, where everybody thought we would match for the finale. It didn't happen that way. I ended up winning fight of the season. On that season, she won the season. In my fight of the season, I ended up sustaining a broken hand, a fractured forearm, and stitches. And then a week and a half later, I have to go into semifinal fight. Like, people don't truly understand how tough The Ultimate Fighter is. And so it just didn't play out that way. But like the excitement that comes with it, like the frustration of waiting 11 years and it's like, hey, like, when am I ever going to fight her? And then now all of a sudden being on the absolute biggest stage for the ultimate goal, like, okay, like that's also tucked in the back of my mind as far as the world title. But like, this has been a thought of mine for like 11 years. Like, I'm like, okay, like next fight offer, Julianna. Nope. And I don't know. I mean, it's just been one of those ones that like I'm just genuinely excited for. So I've thought about everything.
Last one before we finish on some rapid fire. Who would be the bigger fight for your legacy? Julianna Pena or Kayla Harrison?
Uh, Kayla Harrison. Kayla's like it's like I was talking earlier. Kayla's the one that, Holly Holm came into the UFC. She came with a
Mm.
massive hype train, a huge name. And now I feel like Kayla's your new heir of that. So she's like the new Holly Holm with a massive name and a new hype train.
Okay. Now, I want to finish this off with some rapid fire. Get your mind off of the fight game for a minute. The
Oh,
one condition is you got to keep these like 5 words or less because you, like me, are very comfortable talking, and I would do this for 45 minutes with you if I could, but my colleagues are going to get mad at me because they have interviews coming up.
all right, I got it.
All right. First up, which Spider-Man actor is your Spider-Man?
I don't know. Just
I thought,
Spider-Man.
oh, you just like Spider-Man? I saw you like Spider-Man, so I was like Tom
My
Holland.
godson loves Spider-Man, so there I am.
All right, done deal. What's the worst gift you've ever received? Christmas, birthdays?
Worst gift? Um, I
We
don't
could do
know.
best gift if that's easier.
Best gift? Oh man, these are like really in depth.
I do it. I throw a little bit of everything at you. You know, the toolbox that you mentioned earlier. So pulling them all out.
Honestly, I don't know. My family's super thoughtful. Best gift. I would probably have to say my mom melted down some of her jewelry and she made my
Dude,
custom gloves and stuff.
I love that. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right. You said so. Alex B on Twitter does these like humanizing athletes things. Favorite movie, favorite this, favorite that. You said that when asked about your favorite band or musician, quote, "I love all music." I hate that answer, Raquel. Give me like one genre that you listen to the most.
Um, I mean, it's a great answer because I genuinely love music and it goes off of my mood. But country.
Okay, I was gonna
But
say I can send you some really
90s
bad
country.
music if you want.
No, 90s country.
90s country, I like it. What's one misconception you think people have of you? I guess that's a long one. You know, we can skip that one actually. But I do want to tie this back to Julianna Pena or not. What's one quality in a person that gets under your skin?
One quality in a person that gets under my skin. Um, well, this isn't a quality, but it's a be like a
Yeah, pet
chomp.
peeve.
If you
Nice.
chomp, I'm gonna like I want to backhand you.
Like eating with your mouth open,
Oh
or
my gosh. Like, oh, it'll trigger me so fast. I go from 0 to like a million. Like it's not even 100. It's like a million.
I try my best, but I got a really big mouth. There's like a lot of fine motor skills that are involved there, and sometimes my thoughts go somewhere else. And we won't ever do an interview over lunch. Okay, that's what I learned from this.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Raquel, I want to leave you with the last word. Thank you so much for being such a good sport. Very quickly for me, guys, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up. Give us your official prediction. Raquel Pennington, Julianna Pena, the co-main event for UFC 307. Also, what's one pet peeve or quality that you hate? Apparently, yeah, Raquel and I are not meant to go out for lunch ever. Raquel, if there's anything you want to tell the people, the floor is yours.
I just want to say thank you to my true fans out there. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you guys. As much as I may influence you guys and inspire you guys inspire me as well. And then of course, just to my team, and my family and friends who are always there by my side. What a journey. I'm super grateful for this life, and I'm excited to go out there and whoop some ass next weekend.